Hi and hello to all. This side Priya Rana, Assistant Professor at SD College Ambala Camp. So this is the third video of communication. Theories and models of communication. In my this video we're going to study about the theories and models of communication. Number 1 is one-way communication process. One-way communication process is known as linear model of communication. Linear model of communication is the communication which is one way. That means it has no feedback. The sender sends the message but the receiver only receives it, cannot revert back to it. For example, in mass communication at a mass level, when the person is communicating, he doesn't able to take the feedback of all the people, so that is why this was known as linear model of communication. Two-way communication. Two-way communication is the communication where we are getting the feedback from the receiver. Sender is sending the message and the receiver is giving the feedback. So this is the two-way communication. Third is transaction process model. Transaction process model is given by Barnlund in 1970. Okay, in this process what happened is he believes that there is a continuous process of feedback in the communication process. So transaction process model, it basically says that it has a continuous process of feedback. See, the communicator, he encodes it and decodes it, and after receiving it he becomes the communicator, the another person becomes the communicator, and he again encodes it and decodes it. Encodes in order to give the feedback and decodes when he receive it from the sender. This is also a diagram which shows that it is a continuous process, because sender is sending the message after encoding through a channel, and receiver receives it, then decodes it, and then he after decoding he also have a message to just revert back to the sender. So this process goes on. So this is the transaction process model. Moving on to the Shannon-Weaver model. Shannon-Weaver model in year 1949. He has given in the year 1949. What is the full name of him? Claude Shannon. Okay, he was an electrical engineer, and he has propounded mathematical model of communication. This model he has given from his mathematical model of communication. So in this, number 1 point is sender. Sender is a person who has the information to begin with. Sender is a person who has the information to begin with. So he is the person who is sending something, who has some information to just uh, uh, to forward it to the other person, if I say. Next is encoder or the transmitter. Encoder is the machine that converts the idea into signals. See, I said that he has propounded this model through a mathematical model of communication, and in this way, when he is encoding, he has said that the idea which he has converted them into signals, and after that he is sending it to the receiver through a proper channel. He is sending proper channel, it may be any medium through which he is sending the message. The noise are the obstructions which come in between sending the message. These obstructions can be internal and external. Internal noises are the noises which are under the control of sender and the receiver, and external noises are the noises which are not under the control of sender and the receiver. Okay, decoder, when the person receives the message, he decodes it like the signals or the codes which have been used by the sender. He decodes it, and he decodes it in word format, and in the format which is understood by the receiver. Okay, Okay, next is the receiver. Receiver is the endpoint according to Shannon Weaver model. Shannon Weaver model is a linear framework. It does not have a feedback, but after some time there was a person, that is Norbert Wiener. He has come up with the feedback step. He has added to the Shannon Weaver model. Okay, originally when Shannon Weaver has given his model, it wasn't, the feedback wasn't there. So I can say that Shannon Weaver model was a linear way of communication, but Norbert Wiener has added a feedback step in it. Okay, moving on to the next, Murphy model. Murphy model was propounded by three writers. Who are the three writers? H.A. Murphy, H.W. Hildebrand, and J.P. Thomas. So then he has given 6 points under it. Number one is context. Context means in which field the message has been transformed. It can be in on the field of the country, culture, organization, internal and external causes of the action, or on what way the message has been made, on what context the message has been made. It can be in any field or in any context. Okay, next is sender. What does a sender do? Sender, he encodes the message, he expresses the message in symbols or in words. Next is message. Message is the core idea the sender wishes to communicate. It is a core idea. It can be verbal and non-verbal symbols also. Next is medium. Medium through which the message is being transferred. Next is the receiver. Receiver is the person who is decoding the message, decoding the symbols or the signs in understandable form. Last one is the feedback. So Murphy model contains feedback. It is a two-way process of communication. Talking about Berlow's SMCR model of communication. See, Berlow has given his model in 1960. His full name is David Berlow. Okay. Next, he this is very important. He described factors which affect the individual component in the communication, making the communication more efficient and effective. Uh, so Berlow has given his SMCR model of communication so that uh, the communication process become more efficient. And what are the factors which affect the communication process? That is, the sender has communication skills, attitudes, knowledge. Moving on to the next, this will make more clear to us. That is sender. What are the factors which affect the sender? That is the communication skills, attitude, knowledge, social system, and culture. See, sender is the source of the message or the person who originates the message. So the person or the source sends the message to the receiver. These are the factors which affect the message. When the sender sends the message, these are the factors which affects the message. uh, that is the communication skills. If the person is using the correct communication skills, then the communication will be efficient enough. If the attitude of the person is good, he is positive, then this will affect the message he is transferring. If the knowledge of the person who is transferring the message, the subject matter of the person is good enough, then it will affect the communication, and the message will be transferred effectively and efficiently. Social system. See, the values, beliefs, law, religion, and many other social factors affect the sender way of communicating the message. Next is culture. Cultural differences makes message different. A person from one culture find it offensive, which is very much acceptable to the another culture. this culture also affects the message, because if a message according to one culture is convenient, it may not be convenient to the person who is from the different culture. So you can see the sender and the receiver factors, they all are same. Okay, because these factors affect the sender also and the receiver also. Moving on to the next, message. Message is a substance that can be sent by the sender to the receiver. Okay. So what are the factors which affect the message? That is the content. The content, the message uh, has in what content the message has been made. Okay, that affects the message. The elements means it can be in gestures form, the message can be in sign form, it can be in language, etc. Treatment means in what way the message is being conveyed to the receiver. Okay, next is structure, the structure of the message, like it is in easy form, it is in complex form, it is in dynamic form, so it affects the effectiveness of the message. Last one is the code is the form in which the message is being said, it can be in language, text, video, etc. Next is the channel. Channel is the medium through which you are sending the message. So what the factors which affect the channel? So if I say, um, in mass communication and other forms of communication, technical machines might be used in channel like telephones, internet, etc. But in general communication, five senses of the human being are affecting the effectiveness of the communication, that is hearing, seeing, touching, smelling and tasting. So how these things are affecting hearing? We receive the message through hearing. In general, after the channel which are using, in generally, if I say, if our hearing power is not strong enough, I may mislead the message, I may not be able to hear the message properly. If I couldn't see the message, if it is non-verbal message, if I couldn't able to see the message, there will be a problem in getting the message. Next is touching. If there are non-verbal communication codes like holding and tapping the back, etc. So this also affects the communication. Smelling, if we collect the information from smelling, then this will affect. Tasting also provides the information to be sent as a message. When we are in some other field, we need this kind of senses uh, as a factors which affects our communication way. These are the channels through which we can, these are the factors which affect the channel through which we can taste, hear and touch, see, smell, through our five senses, which we in general, if I say, these senses are important while communicating in an efficient way and effective way. So receiver is the person who receives the message, and these are the points which we have already discussed, and these are the factors which affect the receivers also. So there are the criticism of Berlow's SMCR model. What are the criticism? Like, it has no feedback. It is only explaining the efficiency of the communication process. How, what are the factors which affect it, and how it can be efficient. So it basically telling us the factors which affect us, but it is not giving us a concept of feedback. It is not also considering the noises, which becomes a barrier in communication sometimes. So it is a linear model of communication, it is not a two-way communication. Next is Thiel and Bowe model. Thiel and Bowe model of communication is uh, more than a single act. How? It is a chain of events. See, it is a chain of events consisting of five phases linking from sender to receiver. So the five phases are: number one is idea. Idea is anything that I'm conceiving in my mind. I just want to transfer it. That is the idea. The message means if I have some idea, I want to transform it into words and put it into words as a message to convey it. Then the message is being transmitted through various channels. It being transmitted, the message can be verbal or non-verbal. It When it being transmitted from sender to receiver. uh, the the fourth phase is the receiver, who receives the message, who understands the message and stores the message mentally according to his level of thinking. The last one is the feedback. So Thiel and Bowe model has a feedback also, so it is a two-way model of communication. uh, See, I have given you bullet model and hypodermic needle model. When I was randomly searching something, I have come up with these two words, so I thought I should put it here and give it a brief view of it. uh, so bullet theory, when in I say, when in media, when the message is being bullet fired from media gun into the viewer's head. For example, when something is being said on news channel, the news channel just directly have a media gun that is being hit into the viewer's head. Any message that they are transferring, it comes and strikes to a head immediately. So that is the bullet theory. And hypodermic theory, hypodermic needle model is when the message is being injected, the passive audience who are immediately influenced by the message. So passive audience are the audience who doesn't put their mind into it, who are not active audience. So they are the large they are largely being influenced by such message which are being injected into the minds of the viewers. Last one is the Robert P. Vicue. He has given his 4 points in communication roles. He has defined his communication roles. So number one is gatekeeper. Gatekeeper is the person in the communication process who passes the information or the message. So gatekeeper is the person who passes the information. Liaison. Second one is the liaison. Liaison means any person who has a link between groups or between other persons. So liaison is a person who serve as a communication link between groups but is not a part of the group. He is not a part of the group, but he has his links with the group. That's how he's communicating. Third one is isolate. Isolate is a person who is very little or less or no conflict with other members of the organization. So there are certain members like night guards, chowkidars, etc. So they don't socialize enough. They are the people who are being isolated to do their work. They are not participated enough. Last one is the cosmopolites. Cosmopolites is the person whose communication network extend far beyond the boundaries of the organization. So cosmopolites role of the person are who have large links with many people, and their communication network is broad enough. They have extended boundaries of communication network. So that was all from this video. Thank you.